The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Harvest Chants. My name is Jenn, and thank you for tuning in. Tonight, we're going to be going behind the scenes of Harvest Crafts. Speaking of Harvest Crafts will be returning October 2024, followed by Holiday Crafts, returning in 2024 of December. You're probably wondering what I'm going to be doing for the podcast in October. Well, I'm starting a new trend. It's kind of new, kind of old at the same time. So stay tuned for that. It is art related. Speaking of art, if you haven't done so already, feel free to follow me at Harvest Witch Studios on YouTube. I have a few art things on there already, so if you're interested in what I do as an artist, feel free to follow me on that. Harvest Crafts started back in late 2021 during COVID. I was trying to figure out what else I can do for the station. I was doing an internship at the time, as well as Easton Live. That was the only two things that were available. I mentioned to now boss Kim about potentially producing another show. And we both agree it was a great idea to get my name out there and possibly get possibly have a potential PG-13 show. The first season, we called it Fantasy Crafts. It was a temporary name, and I wasn't expecting 92 views later. The first episode did well. The first episode, we made small aquatic terrariums. It was a small glass ornament thing, and they had these fancy rocks, and I did a aquatic theme. And using a lot of the scraps that I had at home from previous projects. "13 episodes in, it eventually turned into a Halloween type of show. And Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. And the idea of dressing up on my favorite holiday at the studio is one of the best things. I think that year I was a witch from one of my favorite films. Heading into 2022, there was no episodes that year because I had quit due to a family emergency. It took a lot of persuading for me to return to the studio. Eventually, I did end up helping out with the summer concerts. And I started up the show again. But I wanted to change the name to something more Halloween Harvest, because it was that time of the year and I wanted to match the season. I like to term harvest. I thought it was a really cool time of the year, and I love when the leaves change color. It's a beautiful ride when the leaves start changing colors, and that's when I decided to change the name Harvest, change fantasy to Harvest. I just felt it matched a lot better. The first few episodes did very well. I wasn't really surprised about the reef episode because reefs always end up doing a lot better than the other shows. My main goal for Harvest Crafts and Harvest Witch Studios is to make it PG-13 friendly and make it as an activity for the whole family could do if they're looking for something to do during the holidays. At the time during lockdown, it was hard for a lot of people to enjoy the holidays since everyone was in lockdown. And I felt that was my goal, to really help the community to still celebrate the holidays, but in a creative perspective. I really wasn't expecting the show to do so well, and it was one of these things that I really enjoy. And it really helps me mentally as well as for someone that is struggling with anxiety. I always prefer talking to the cameras and the mics. I think I was caught once talking to a camera in my media class. And at one time. And I think I always enjoyed being on camera. It just seems like practice to me, because having the social skills is a real skill, and it's one of these things that we take for granted, and it's one of these things that should be practiced, whether it's on camera, in a studio, or just in the classroom in general. My favorite craft out of all the projects I've done is the raven in the box, and a jewelry box. It's a recycled type of project. In a way, it's kind of poetic and it's different. I made something similar to this in the past, and has always been a comfort project. In the spring / summer, I usually use those fake birds that you see in the floral department. They have cardinals, finches, parrots, doves. Excuse me. And I use a lot of scrap florals that either fallen off of a bouquet of flowers or just the leftovers from an older project. Right now, a lot of people have seen my mascot. She is not really a dragon. She is definitely not a Wendigo. She was once a beautiful witch that had an issue with a spell gone wrong. I guess she is kind of a wyvern. If you don't know what a wyvern is a dragon that has 2 legs instead of 4 legs and 2 massive giant wings. They're more of a bird-like species. And of course, I had to make her purple because purple is one of my favorite colors. I decided to name this character Riot. I got the name Riot from an old nail polish color, Don't Judge Me. And I think neon purple is called Riot anyways. So that's the inspiration of the name. And she's kind of the mascot of the Halloween show. And if you want to draw her, feel free to tag me. The reference sheet is on my YouTube channel at Harvest Witch Studios. And stay tuned for more of Harvest Witch Studios and Harvest Crafts and all the good things. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay creepy.